Hey, it's CarlyRae here, and welcome to my Hey, it's CarlyRae book club on YouTube. Today, I am so excited because I'm bringing you another virtual book review. But before we get started, you guys need to hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell to be alerted of all the new videos on my BookTube channel. So, without further ado, the book we're going to be talking about today on Hey, it's CarlyRae is da-da-da-da! If the Shoe Fits by Julie Murphy is the book we're going to be talking about today on Hey, it's CarlyRae. So I've seen this book out quite a few times when I've been in the bookstore, but I haven't gotten a copy. But I decided to get a copy because it was part of a BOGO special, and I'm so glad I did. It was all thanks to everybody on my Bookstagram page. So thank you everyone for telling me to get this book because it's seriously, I think, one of my favorite books ever. I just want to hug this book. So I'm so excited to chat with you guys about If the Shoe Fits. If you guys have your copy, go and grab it and come back because we're going to be chatting about all things If the Shoe Fits. But if you guys haven't read it and you don't have a copy, don't worry about it. This is a spoiler-free book review. So we're just going to be chatting about If the Shoe Fits, and I'm going to tell you why you need to read this book. So without further ado, let's get started. So what is If the Shoe Fits about? If the Shoe Fits centers around Cindy. She lives in New York. She just finished graduating in her design school, but Cindy did not get the job of her dreams because she kind of fell short in her last year at school. After her dad died, she was really, really struggling, and she just didn't give it her all. And so Cindy is going back home to live with her stepmother, her stepsisters, and she has triplet siblings that are under the age of 7 years old that she's going to be nannying for the summer. So Cindy's I really, really wish I got more out of graduation, but she's like, I'm just going to nanny for the summer and see where it goes. Even though Cindy's heart lies in designing shoes, she's going to be giving that up for the summer, or so she thinks. When Cindy arrives back home, her mom, we find out, or her stepmom, is the producer for Before Midnight. It is this huge reality show that really, really took off, and it's actually kind of based, I felt like, on The Bachelor. So the Cindy's stepmom, basically on Before Midnight, they get a group of girls together, and there is a guy involved, and only one guy with all these girls, and you get to see them go on different dates throughout the show and everything like that, like you do on The Bachelor. So long story short, the only little spoiler I will give away is Cindy does go on the show with her stepsisters. Is there friction with all of them being on there? You guys will have to read this book to find out. But Cindy does go on there. Now, her stepmom at first is hesitant because Cindy is a plus size girl and she does not want her to have to face backlash by being on the show because she will be the first ever plus size girl on the show. But Cindy's like, I got this. I want to do this. And she really wanted to do it too, to kind of get her name out there for people to see her shoes. So Cindy decides to go on the show. Now, is she a hit on this show? You guys will have to check this book to find out, but needless to say, I'm a huge Cindy fan. From the very first time I started reading this book, seeing Cindy on Before Midnight, I was like, you go, Cindy, I want to be your BFF. So Cindy kind of takes us on a journey of living with all these other girls. We do get the cattiness of girls. We get to see her being friends with some of the girls, but is it a real friendship? Again, you have to read this book to find out. Another thing I really enjoyed about this book is the character of Henry, or aka Prince Charming. Now, in case you guys haven't already figured out, this book is loosely based on Cinderella. It's kind of Julie Murphy's twist, and I absolutely adored that twist in it. But Prince Charming Henry comes from a super wealthy family. His mom is this huge designer, and he is on the show to find somebody to settle down with. He has kind of a playboy past. Is that really Henry? Again, you'll have to check out this book to find out. So yeah, we get to see Cindy and Henry. They do go on dates because obviously that's part of the show, and we get to see Cindy's reaction to it. But we also get to feel like Cindy, she is on this show, but then she's like, I'm starting to really like Henry, but is it real because he's dating all these other people? So again, you guys will have to check out this book to find out, but I really enjoyed that aspect. One of my absolute favorite parts, though, about this book is how Julie Murphy crafted Cindy. Now, this book is not just a reality bachelor show book. We actually get to see Cindy find herself. She literally goes on the show and she's really struggling with who she is inside, and we get to see her kind of grow into her own throughout the whole book, which I really enjoyed. It was, really about Cindy finding her way and finding her passion and being able to do that. And does Cindy give things up for a guy, or does she, say, hey, this is me and this is what I'm doing? That's something you guys will have to, again, when you read this book, you will find out, but it definitely pays off. I really, really enjoyed it. I also really enjoyed the family dynamics of this book. Again, it was based on Cinderella. We don't necessarily get the evil stepmother, but I love how Julie Murphy made that her own, and it was one of my favorite parts about this book. This has to be one of my favorite twist spin-offs that I've seen of like classic fairy tales. So again, as you guys can see, I definitely recommend this book. I give it a 5 out of 5 star. I cannot believe I did not get this book sooner. I saw it on Bookstagram so many times, and when I was at Booksamillion, it was part of a BOGO deal, so I was like, okay, I'm going to get this book. And then as soon as I started reading it, I could not put it down. I loved it. So this is a close-up of the cover again. It is, so like this is Henry and this is Cindy, and then as you guys can see, like the shoes kind of play into the cover. And as you guys know, I love covers that relate to the plots of a book, so that was amazing. But yeah, I give it a 5 out of 5 star, and you guys can comment below, let me know your thoughts. I put this on my social media, and I got so many comments from you guys about what you wanted to hear, like on my thoughts on this book. So I picked out 6 questions for today's Q&A that we are going to get started and chatting about. But again, I definitely recommend If the Shoe Fits. Julie Murphy also takes us like on the signature dates that we know on The Bachelor, how when they like travel and go on dates, we kind of get that as well in If the Shoe Fits. So that was another one of my favorite parts about this book. But I don't want to give away too many spoilers. You guys will have to read this book to find out, but it's definitely worth it. It had me turning the pages, and I read it in 2 days. I stayed up, I think, until like 2 a.m. just to finish this book because I had to find out what happened. So without further ado, we will get started in today's Q&A. So let's get started. So we are going to get started in today's Q&A. So I put this on my social media, as you guys know, asked you guys any questions that you had, and I got so many of you guys that wrote in and asked me questions, but I picked 6 top ones that I got asked, and we are going to be talking about them today. So the first question is from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. You said, what is your favorite chapter? My favorite chapter, I'm going to have to say, is in the middle of the book when Cindy is in New York with Henry and the entire Before Midnight cast. I don't want to give away spoilers, but it is in the chapter when Henry and Cindy are together in New York. You guys will have to read this book to find out. I don't want to give away spoilers, as I said, but that one was like my favorite chapter. I loved it. I went back and reread it, absolutely adored it. And I also, my second favorite chapter is when they are on the beach somewhere, and she is kind of, I don't want to give away spoilers, but she's out back and she's kind of just chillaxing by the water, and then Henry shows up. So that was another favorite chapter. I don't want to give away spoilers, as I said, but that was another favorite chapter. So when you guys read it, or if you guys have read it, you know what I'm talking about. Let me know what your favorite chapter is. The second question that I got asked is from Belle. Hi, Belle. You said, who is your favorite character? My favorite character is definitely Cindy. I want to be best friends with her. I loved how Julie Murphy wrote her as a plus-size character, but as a character who knows herself and owns it and is like, hey, world, this is me. I absolutely adored that part from Julie Murphy. Julie Murphy has such a unique style of writing. She writes great dialogue, great characters, and they're so strong, so unique, and this book's no exception. Cindy, absolutely favorite character. Again, I want to be BFF, so if you meet a Cindy, let me know. All right, the third question is from Tyler. Hi, Tyler. You said the cover. What are your thoughts? Absolutely love the cover. As you guys know, I love covers that reflect what the book is about, and this one definitely hits it out of the park. I loved how when you look at it, especially after you read the book, you see that like Henry has 2 different shoes, but then when you look closer, he actually doesn't have a shoe on. She has it behind her back. I don't know if you guys, I think you guys can see that. Yeah, so I mean, this was like, after I read the book, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. So definitely a huge fan of the cover of If the Shoe Fits. All right, the next question is from Sam. Hi, Sam. You said the dialogue in this book. What are your thoughts? My thoughts on the dialogue on this book was, again, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. I thought Julie Murphy did a great job crafting the dialogue. It's very authentic. It felt unique to each character, and it felt like things that like I would say to someone or like a friend might say to me. So she definitely hit it out of the park in the dialogue department. Karen. Hey, Karen. You said the ending. What are your thoughts? The ending. Okay, so When I was reading it and before I got to the last page, I was like, there better be another chapter and this better not be the end of this book. But the ending I thought was great. I loved it. I do have a theory on that. So if you guys want to hear my theory on the ending, you guys can message me and let me know. But I loved the ending of this book. I love how it kind of sets the stage, and I love how books, when they end, you can kind of picture what might happen. Might not necessarily be the right thing, but anybody can picture what they want. So I'm definitely picturing, like, happily ever after, okay? Like, you read If the Shoe Fits, it's based on Cinderella, but it has an awesome twist. So yeah, the ending I thought was great. So that concludes today's Q&A. I hope you guys enjoyed today's book review. If you guys want to see more book reviews on Hey, It's Carly Rae, you guys can message me, let me know what books you want to see posted next. I am so excited to do this virtual book review because, again, I absolutely adored If the Shoe Fits. Message me, comment below, like this video. I would love to hear your thoughts about Julie Murphy and her book If the Shoe Fits. I also put a link in the description below of where you guys can buy it if you don't have your copy yet. But that concludes today's virtual book review on If the Shoe Fits. You guys can follow me on social media on Hey, It's Carly Rae on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, and on Tumblr, and on Pinterest. You guys can also follow my book club, Hey, It's Carly Rae Book Club. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and I have a Facebook group. So you guys can go and join me. I love chatting about books. And yeah, I love doing buddy reads. So if you guys have a new book that you want to read, we can do a buddy read on it. But I hope you guys have an awesome day and stay tuned for more book reviews coming your way.